Congratulations on your decision to become tobacco-free, nicotine-free, and a non-smoker for the rest of your life. The person who gave you this audio is a specialized hypnotherapist that has an education in a highly successful smoking cessation system that was developed in the United Kingdom. On this audio, I will be talking about a number of things. The first thing I will discuss is the nature of the cigarette problem and why it's been so difficult for you to stop smoking permanently in the past. Then I will talk about why hypnotherapy is so successful and powerful for helping people make changes they desire. And then I will clear up any misconceptions about what hypnosis is really all about. Let's begin by looking at the issue of nicotine. Nicotine replacement therapies are built around the idea of weaning people off of the nicotine. Unfortunately, nicotine replacement therapies have a very high failure rate. The patch and the gum don't work because it's not really about the nicotine. If that were the issue, the patch would work. You would get weaned off and you would be fine. But the reality is that nicotine replacements fail about 85% of the time. Some people have heard that nicotine is more addictive than heroin. However, the nicotine part is actually very minor, nothing like heroin at all. If you were addicted to heroin and you wanted to stop, you would have to check into a clinic. They would have to bring you down, or you could go into convulsions, sweats, shakes, and nausea. And yet nobody has ever heard about someone who goes into convulsions when they stop smoking. You might get a little grouchy or irritable, and those are emotions, not physical reactions. If the nicotine was all that addictive, we'd have to set up programs to get people off the patches. But who do you know that's addicted to the patch? Yet the patch has loads of nicotine. The reality is that in about 48 hours, the nicotine is pretty much gone, and you're not addicted physically at all. So if it's not about addiction to nicotine, then what's going on? Why can't people just stop? Because smoking is a habit, and it's a powerful habit. Suppose you smoke about a pack of cigarettes a day. There are 20 cigarettes in a pack, and you take about 8 to 10 drags off of a cigarette, maybe more. But 10 keeps the math easy. You take about 200 drags a day. You can adjust those numbers depending on how many you smoke. But the reality is the only thing that you do more than smoke is blink your eyes and breathe. It's amazing. Have you ever just stopped and thought about how many times a day you are actually bringing a cigarette up to your mouth? Now, to show you how powerful a habit is, a lot of people are in the habit of brushing their teeth before they go to bed. You know, if they get distracted and forget, they lay there in bed, lights are out, heads on the pillow, nice and cozy, but they can't stand it. They have to get up and go brush their teeth. Now, a fanatical toothbrusher will brush their teeth 3 times a day. If they forget once, it makes them crazy, and they have to get up and do something about it. And you're bringing a cigarette up to your lips hundreds of times a day. So when you stop, it puts a wrinkle in the fabric of your life. So see, the habit part is huge. Well, now, what is a habit? Habits are simply routine, repetitive behaviors that we do automatically. Now, when you were a little boy or girl, you learned to tie your shoes. You did it a few times, and your unconscious mind said, "Oh, here is a routine, repetitive behavior. I'll just take it over because the conscious mind has more important things to think about." From that day until now, your unconscious mind has been tying your shoelaces for you. You know, you put a pair of shoes on and the laces just get tied. You're thinking about something else entirely. Most of the behaviors we do on a day in and day out are just like that. The unconscious mind is doing it for us automatically, robotically. We're not even consciously having to think about it. It's amazing what the unconscious mind does, but it does it very robotically. It doesn't think or reason. Reasoning is a function of the conscious mind. So when you started doing this smoking behavior, the unconscious mind said, "Oh, another routine repetitive behavior. I'll just take it over because the conscious mind has more important things to think about it." So from that day on until now, your unconscious mind has been doing most of your smoking for you. Okay, so the unconscious mind works robotically. It doesn't think, it doesn't reason, it doesn't understand. It simply does what it's been programmed to do. Now, when you started smoking, you had some reasons, and they were valid reasons for you at the time. Perhaps it had to do with the transition from childhood to adulthood, peer pressure, fitting in with others, all that kind of stuff. Rebellion. It doesn't really matter. The reality is that none of those reasons are in effect now. It's all changed. You're different. It's a different world we live in, and so smoking is an obsolete behavior. But your unconscious mind doesn't understand that, and so it's as if there's a fight going on in your head. It's a lot like a program on the hard drive of a computer. You put a program on the hard drive, and it's going to run the same way every time you boot it up. It's going to do exactly the same behavior over and over again until the end of time. It doesn't matter that you installed it years ago, and now your needs have changed and you want to do something different. You can yell at it, but it won't act any differently. You can reason with your computer and tell it why it isn't working right and that you want it to change, but it's still going to do the same old thing because it's robotic. And the only way to fix it is to uninstall that program and reinstall new, different programs that now work for you. And this is exactly what we are going to do with the unconscious programs you have around cigarette smoking, because those programs are obsolete. They are no longer serving you, no longer doing what you want them to do, but your unconscious mind doesn't know that, so we're going to bring it up to date. Now we have a conscious mind and an unconscious mind or subconscious mind. Those words are interchangeable. The conscious mind only does a very few things. It's the part of us that thinks. It makes decisions and plans, and it's where your willpower is. Your unconscious or subconscious mind runs your body or your autonomic nervous system. It causes your heart to beat, your eyes to blink. It's the place of all of our memories, our learnings. It's the place of all of our programmed habits. It's a huge piece of us. When we get your conscious mind and your unconscious mind in agreement with the use of hypnosis, then the internal battle is over. Now we are going to use hypnosis to change that old programming. Hypnosis is the most effective way to change unconscious behavior because hypnosis deals directly with the unconscious mind. Now, when a person is in what we call the hypnotic state, the unconscious mind comes to the forefront and becomes open to suggestions for change. All right, let's talk a little bit about hypnosis, what it is and what it isn't. Most of what people know about hypnosis is just what they've seen in movies and in stage shows. Well, you know that Hollywood sensationalizes just about everything, so you can forget all that Hollywood stuff. But maybe you've seen a stage show where a hypnotist has volunteers come up and he has them do goofy stuff. Now it kind of looks like the hypnotist has some sort of special power and that he can get people to do all of these goofy things, like some kind of mind control. Well, it's all really just an illusion, because if you think about a stage show, it's all about entertainment. People in the audience know that the hypnotist is going to call for volunteers to come up on stage, and then he's going to ask them to do goofy things. So who volunteers? People who want to get up in front of their friends and act goofy, so their friends will laugh at them and everyone will have a good time. It's all about having fun. And so the hypnotist gets them a little bit relaxed and tells them to do goofy stuff. And so they do goofy stuff. They are simply being compliant, going along with it. That's what they came for. And in a way, that is actually how it will work for you in our Stop Smoking session. You're coming in because you want to stop smoking. I'm going to help you get a little bit relaxed, and then I'm going to give you some powerful suggestions to help you stop smoking, and you stop smoking, but only because you want to. I can't make you do anything you don't want to do. I can't make you stop smoking. That's why if you came to a session just because someone else wanted you to, you're coming in under pressure, you don't really want to stop smoking, well, of course, it just wouldn't work. It has to be something that you want. So hypnotists don't have the ability to control your mind, but what they have is training and experience in the utilization of language, and so they can formulate suggestions and deliver them to your unconscious mind, so that the unconscious mind is willing to make the changes you want to make. So you're not going to be knocked out. You're not going to be unconscious. You're not going to be a zombie. You'll hear what they say. You'll remember what they say. You'll think about what they say. You'll have other thoughts come in and out of your mind. In fact, in some ways, you're going to be even more alert than normal because your unconscious mind is really going to be involved. You're going to be using more of your mind than ever before because your conscious mind and your unconscious mind are working together as a team. And so it's only natural that you'll experience a powerful change. And so what you're going to find is that your body is beautifully relaxed, almost like it's asleep, and it feels wonderful, and your mind is very much alert, a little different perhaps than what you had thought about before. That's the reality of hypnosis, and that's what we'll be doing. So hypnosis doesn't feel different or weird. It's kind of like when you're really absorbed in a good daydream or lost in a novel or a movie. So hypnosis doesn't feel strange or unusual, just relaxed. And if during this session you ask yourself, I don't know if I'm really hypnotized or maybe I'm just relaxed, well, what I would recommend is that you keep an open mind, follow along with the suggestions, find yourself agreeing with them, and at the end of the session, you can talk about it with your hypnotherapist consciously. During the process, just want it to work. Relax and agree with the suggestions, and you'll find that it works beautifully. All right, now let's talk about suggestions. In this session, they are going to be giving you some very powerful suggestions. Suggestions that are designed to help you become a non-smoker for the rest of your life. What's really important is that when the hypnotist gives you a suggestion, there are several different ways to respond to that suggestion. Remember, you'll be mentally alert. You'll hear what they say. Now, the response that works, and it works every time, is for you to say to yourself, I like that suggestion. I know this is going to work. A positive mindset is very important. On the other hand, if you say to yourself, oh no, I'm not too sure about that, I don't know if this is working, well then it's not going to work because the hypnotist cannot make you do anything. Now another way to respond is to say, I hope this is going to work. Well, now hope is a really weak word. It implies the possibility of failure. So let's get rid of words hope and try. Let's put some muscle behind all of this. Let's keep that positive mindset. This is going to work. So you see, attitude is very important. What we believe and expect to experience, we usually do experience. So if you say to yourself, this is easy, then it will be easy. You don't need to have withdrawal symptoms or cravings. The fact is, many people stop smoking and they have no withdrawal whatsoever. On the other hand, you can make it hard on yourself and say, this is going to be awful. I'm going to be grumpy, irritable. I'm going to be miserable. Well, it can be that way if you want, but I'd recommend the easy way. You see, you can look at stopping smoking as being one of the best things you've ever done. You can feel great about it, you can celebrate, or you can think about how stopping is a terrible sacrifice. Feel so deprived, sit around moping, feeling sorry for yourself. It's your choice. But I'd recommend if you find yourself going down the wrong road, you stand up, you get a drink of water, and take a few deep breaths. Go find something interesting and fun to do and remind yourself about how good it feels to be free. Come into your Stop Smoking appointment with an open mind and a genuine desire to be a non-smoker for the rest of your life, and your success is certain. And so please call the Stop Smoking specialist who gave you this audio and set up your Stop Smoking appointment today, because the sooner you become a non-smoker, the sooner you'll be on your way to a happier, healthier, more prosperous life.